Well, hello there, besties. Welcome to episode number 104. And listen, I'm really excited about this one because I am introducing you to one of my new real life real estate besties, Sheena Baker. Now, we're going to get into how we met at a real estate event. This is why I say you have to get in the room because you will meet amazing people. But let me tell you, this young lady is amazing. She is a team leader. She is a coach. She is a speaker. But you know what? She is going to break it down like a good old girlfriend and let us know exactly what we all should be doing to stand out and stay relevant no matter what the interest rates are, no matter what's happening in the market. I definitely wanted to make sure that you all got in on this conversation, especially as you are figuring out what you want your 2024 to look like. And without further ado, here's my conversation with Ms. Sheena. Hey friends, I'm Rosemary Lewis, your homegirl, and I'm so excited that you are here. I do not care what it looks like on Instagram or HGTV. This whole being a realtor thing is not for the faint at heart. In 2017, I quit my job as a teacher to follow my real estate dreams and quickly found myself overwhelmed and struggling. Fast forward to today. Not only have I been recognized as one of the leaders in our industry, I have actually grown a business that I absolutely love. I don't care if you're a brand new agent trying to figure out how to get started or a veteran feeling overwhelmed and just stuck. I was just like you and I totally get it. Many times I wish there was someone that I could just talk to about all the challenges I was facing. And that is why I created this space just for you. Like best friends do, I'm giving you all the tea related to navigating and thriving in these real estate streets. If I can do it, guess what? That's proof that you can too. Everything's better with friends, so let's succeed together. Welcome to the Real Estate Bestie Podcast. Hey besties, I am so excited for our conversation today because I am introducing you to a fabulous real estate broker from my hometown, Chicago, Sheena Baker. Hey girl.
Hey girl. Hey besties.
How are you doing today?
I am pretty good. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Look, I am doing good and seeing your beautiful face, y'all. Sheena then came on the Zoom call, just looking flawless, looking wonderful. I'm like, I need to get my life together.
I never know. If you know me, you know how I get down. So I'm like, I never know who I'm going to meet, who I'm going to see. I didn't know if you were going to air this. So yeah, I had to come ready.
No, she came ready. I love it. Well, I met Sheena briefly. I attended a real estate conference in Chicago a couple of years ago. And there was actually a mutual friend who was on your team, I think at the time, that introduced us, and then just started following you on social. And we had some mutual friends. And I have to say, like, low-key have stalked you. And I am just so like this girl is bad to the bone.
Thank you.
Not only in No, of course, not only in business, because I can tell that you do just great business, but again, from your style to your poise to everything, like I am a fan. So I knew the besties had to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. Well, you introduce yourself. Why don't you tell the besties a little bit about you, how you got started in real estate, and what your current role is?
Got it. All right. Well, my name is Sheena Baker. I'm a realtor in mostly the western suburban area here in Chicago. So our office is based in Aurora, Illinois, and we service pretty much all the suburbs surrounding, and we do service some parts of Chicago. I have a team, it's 4 of us. We're with Keller Williams Innovate. I've been in the business for 17 years now. So got licensed in 2006. I got my license because I bought my first home at the age of 19. I think that was back in 2003. I think it was 2003 or 2002. And I bought my home so young, a lot of my friends were asking about home ownership and why did I buy a house and all of this. And like people at church started to like ask me questions and I was referring them to the agent that I used. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I should just get my license and sell real estate on the side to just the people I know. My corporate background was human resources and payroll management. So I was in that field for 15 years. Before going full-time in 2013 in real estate. So I kind of did dual career for a while until I was ready to go full-time in the business. So at the end of 2013, I ended up leaving corporate America. 2014 was my first full-time year selling real estate. So I
Wow.
didn't form a team until 2019. And that's when I started to form the team, which was perfect timing because that's when we got into the crazy COVID market where stuff
Crazy
was
market.
flying. Like I needed a team then. But yeah, so that's kind of like a brief overview of who I am.
Listen, you said a mouthful. I want to go back to before 2013 when you were dual career, because we have a lot of besties who are similar, right? They got their real estate license for side money, or are thinking, okay, how do I transition and make this be my full-time gig? And this is expertise that you have that I don't have, because I was never a successful dual career agent. My first stab at the business, I was dual career, but then unlike you, like you got in at 2006, I got out around 2006, 2007, because I couldn't manage both. So what made you successful, and what did that look like when you were working your corporate job and being a real estate agent?
So for me, I think because I work for a couple of things, I'm always honest when I speak about this. So single, no children, and I worked from home. So that was easy to manage because I can look up properties while I'm at work. So I'm at home. I'm not like at work with a bunch of people looking over my shoulder. So as long as I was getting my work done, I can, have my other laptop to have my work laptop. Then I have my personal, and I can kind of do what I needed to do, schedule showings and properties on the side, and then be prepared as soon as I would get off of work to go show those properties. Most of the people that I worked with at the time knew me personally, well, still to this day, but back then they were willing to work with me being dual career. Things weren't flying off the market back then in 2006. So if I said, hey, I get off work at 4:00, I can meet you at the property at 4:30 or 5:00. Usually they're at work too. So we kind of just worked around work schedules. And it kind of just worked out. Nowadays, that tends to be hard because if something goes up and you have to hurry up and see it, it was just, it's different now. So back then, I would just make sure I was getting my work done, and I would have my laptop on the side, making sure I could do whatever. And then on my lunch break, I would talk to clients, or if I had to negotiate deals or all those little breaks you get throughout the day, I could still do both because I worked remotely, which now I think a lot of jobs are remote. So it might be different. Back in the day, it wasn't a whole lot in 2006. I didn't know a lot of people that worked from home. I was one of the company I worked for, they were piloting this. So I was one of the few people that got to work from home. So that kind of made it easier for me, but it felt like I was working, 14-hour or longer day most of the time. So you have to be ready for that kind of grit. Like you can't be, hey, I'm only going to put in 8 hours. Like, no. So when I got off of work, I'm working this second job, so to speak. And so that's kind of how it worked for me. Now, I wasn't doing the top sales and all of that kind of stuff that we kind of do today, but it was enough for extra money, So if it's a couple of deals a year, it was manageable because it wasn't super busy for me.
No, you made it worth your time. I love that, because when agents ask me about that, I give them very similar advice. And my thing is, number one, what does success look like to you? Because I think about, when I was doing real estate or when I was still teaching and I just wanted to do something part-time, an extra couple $1,000s a month would have been successful, right? That would have made a big difference in my family's life. And if that is your goal, that is perfectly fine. But then also, I always say, I truly do think it depends on what is your 9 to 5, like what type of flexibility do you have? Are you able to have a laptop next to your laptop, right? What are you going to do with your lunch break? And I was an educator, so I just couldn't see. And I know there are educators who do dual career, but I knew that you got to know yourself, right?
Yep.
I knew my position, I knew myself, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do either of these well. So I made a different decision, but I love the way you summed it up. Then 2013 comes. So what made you decide, like, you know what, I'm good here on this corporate side?
I always wanted to, because I feel like getting into real estate so young, so many people would always ask me about it. So I just grew like more of a passion for it. Just doing it on the side, I would grow even more passionate about it. Then I started to invest. So my first deal was actually in 2007, buying a house to flip. So that was the first actual deal. I, as the agent, was also the client. So I bought a house to flip the house. So I'm like, all these things, I just always wanted to go full time, but I just was scared, to lose that steady income.
The security, yeah.
So it was just something that was always playing, like, how would I do this? So it never was a year that I didn't think about how could I ever go full time in real estate, but I just didn't know how. And then chain of events happened where I got divorced, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of doing things for other people. I really want to like try this for myself. And I'm like, you know, if I don't succeed at this full time, I can always go back to corporate America. I have been in it for 15 years. I have so many connections. I'm like, I'm just going to, you know, give it a shot and see what happens. So I just started to plan, like truly business planning on how much money I would need to live. And so, and not like some agents be like, I need to make six figures. It wasn't even that. It was how much money do I need to bring home to be able to make a living and cover all of my expenses? So that's what I sat down and did. Because like what I made in corporate America was really good money, but I always lived below my means. So
yeah, so you didn't need that.
I didn't need to make walk that. Away. Yeah. Nope, I didn't need that to walk away. I was like, I just need to make enough to cover my bills and be fine. And then I tell a lot of people I was always a saver. So I had a lot of savings, and then I have 401k and all of that retirement from being in corporate America for 15 years. So I tapped into all of that. So I was like, listen, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to bet on myself and I'm just going to go in. And so then I found somebody back then. Well, you know, 2006 marketing was terrible. So I found somebody to like do headshots. Well, my brother-in-law actually in the backyard, we did headshots and found somebody to create like flyers for me and all this stuff so that I can announce that I'm now a full-time real estate agent. And I was with a company that was like a flat fee company. My license was with them because it was easier while I was in corporate. So I ended up leaving that brokerage thinking I needed to be with a big box brokerage because I'm full-time. That's the only way my sphere of influence would know that like she's serious about this. So I did do that. Yeah. And I made this huge announcement and I just started going to everything. I started going to all these real estate events. I started like immersing myself in the business. And that's like how I first got started. And then at the office I was at, I would ask people, can I do your open house for you? Can I show if you're out of town? You don't have to pay me. Like, I didn't care. I just wanted to just like deeply submerge myself full time instead of like just doing it on the side. And I tell you that first year, it was probably, I think I made like $40,000, which was nothing in comparison to my career. But the next year with all the things that I was doing, I tripled that.
Wow.
And so, and then it just gone up and up and up from there. So it's like, I just was really doing the work and making myself visible and on social media and my friends and family. I had the silly decals on my truck that said I was a realtor. I had the name badge. I mean,
you did it all.
Like I wanted people to like, don't think that I'm an HR anymore. I am a realtor. Like, and so it's like, I had to really work. I feel like that first year to embed in people's minds, like, this is really what all I do for a living. And if you want me to hang out, because I hang out a lot, I'm out a lot, you need to buy a house with me, send somebody, like something, like this is what I do. And it worked. So, and as I was going to all these events, I was learning. So I was learning from people that were doing big business and how can I adopt that into my business? And that's how I kind of was learning different things to kind of grow. So it really, and then it just continued to take off from there.
Girl, I'm over here like cheesing like a, like a little kid in a candy store, because everything that you are saying from, what I hear you saying is you were not afraid to be a secret agent. You were not afraid to get your hands dirty, whether that looked like showing for other agents. You wanted to immerse yourself in the business so that you could truly make it a business. And I mean, I see the fruit of your labor. And it's really interesting because, I'm pretty sure you may have people that walk in on this chapter of your story, right? And see, how fly you are and what you have built. But it's so refreshing. And I'm saying it to besties who are feeling like you're struggling, right? You're trying to walk away from this job and the security of it, and not really knowing what you need, and all of these different things that are holding you back. I love that you are a living, breathing example of, first of all, you got to make the decision to bet on you, but then you got to do the work behind making the decision. And it's not just posting to Instagram a couple times a day.
No. If I don't post any Instagram, it's like, that is not where, I mean, we do get some business from Instagram.
Yeah.
is not what builds a business at all. That to me, I tell people, Instagram, Facebook, that creates social proof. So if someone looks up or they're trying to decide between a couple of agents, even if somebody refers somebody to me directly, they're still going to look me up. So if I have no social proof, then that is, so that's why I tell people that don't want to do social media at all. You have to do it to a level, because what they can't find you, they're going to pick the agent that they can see. They can see, they can see what like, let me see what kind of success they have, what kind of reviews do they have. Like those type of things are important to the consumer that can pick from. Most people know a couple of agents. So they love to go with the referred person because they have, your experience was great. Sure, I'll call Sheena, but let me look at her first before I give her a call.
So girl, I tell people that all the time. I'm in the middle of teaching a course right now. We have Real Estate Bestie Academy. And this week, actually, we talked about social media, our social media presence. And I echoed the same thing, because I do think that sometimes we have unrealistic expectations of what social media will bring for your business. And, yes, I'm like you. I have definitely have some clients that I can say, they told me they found me on Instagram. They told me they found me on YouTube. But the majority of the people came from another realm, but I know they fully vetted me by looking at the social proof. So if there is no proof, I don't go to a restaurant without looking at the menu and looking at reviews.
Exactly. So how do you skip out on doing this? Like it's important. And if you look back on everybody's social media, where we started is not today. So, you have to just start, and you'll improve, and you'll get in a groove of like what you like, what you don't like, and improve over time. And especially as you start to make money, you have more money for marketing, budget. So, but at least start. Yeah. So, and, the biggest thing is as I grew, I always was adding to my database. So like the people that I was working with when I was starting, I didn't really know how to use the database to the fullest extent. Now I know, so I'm really trying to share with people that are new coming in, like that database is key. Like if you don't understand how to build it, organize it, feed it, grow it, service it,
nurture it.
Nurture it. That's your bread and butter right there. So that's the biggest thing. And getting started, if you're dual career, like at least the people that you are meeting and working with, like you just make sure you're keeping track of all of that, making sure that you're touching them in ways, and how everybody does different things in their 36 touches or all these different things that they do. But you have to figure out a way to build your database and start to meet some people to end up getting out of corporate America. Otherwise, if you're not building the business while you're doing this.
Why would you walk away?
No, you can't. If you're just like, oh, I'm gonna help my friend, you're doing it casually, then you'll always be a casual agent. You have to have a mindset thinking about how am I building this where I can walk away in some years, and be really working on that, however long it takes you, and working on your savings plan if you have to save up some money for just in case. Like I think any realtor should have that anyway, because at this market, where a lot of people are getting out of the business, is because I was telling folks, and that market was sweet. Were you saving your money? Like not going to buy brand new cars and like all this crazy stuff because the money was coming in, but were you saving it for if the market takes a shift? And that can happen anytime. None of us know that, right? So, so I would say if you're going to try to be dual, build, save, plan. To exit, you have to have an exit strategy.
No, I love it. And you just pivoted to something that I think will be a great thing for us to touch on, because we are experiencing a shift in market, right? Or have experienced it. And I know that in your 17-year tenure, you have experienced, you came into a market that I would say in 2006, we were probably doing stated income, right?
It was,
then the recession,
and it was
then
short sales and foreclosures.
Short sales, foreclosures, then COVID. So what would be your advice to the person that is pushing the panic button, right? They maybe have gotten into the business, they're used to that COVID market where everything was flying off the shelves and we really didn't have to work hard at nurturing these relationships. But now it just looks different and they're pushing the panic button. What would you say to that person?
So I would validate your concern because it is panic because it's a different
Yeah.
market, especially if you haven't gone through anything like this before. So first I want to say that, like, I feel like not enough of people are saying, well, this is it, it'll turn back around, yeah, but the agents that just got into this business, they don't know that. They feel like,
Yep.
wait, what is this? This is not what I thought this would be. And people like me, we can tell you, yes, it'll always come back around. But if you didn't prepare for this, that's very, very hard. But if you think you have enough clients to get through this, I would say go back through your database. And if you did not build one, figure out how to go find all the clients you work with through this crazy market. And now
Yep.
put them in a database, some database. If it's your MLS, if it's your company or something, you need to start somewhere. Now, what you need to do with that is now you need to start nurturing that relationship.
Yep.
So you're going to have to start giving them a call just to check on them. Like, hey, how are you? If they have questions about the market, that could spark up a conversation where, you know what, we were thinking about selling, but with this, what's happening in the news right now, we're feeling like this, and you're supposed to be the expert. So let them ask you questions, right. Let you ease their concerns, because people are still buying and selling. Me and you know that. So you just need to understand why they are. And so if you're going to give them that information, they might change their mind. They might say, oh, you know what? But my cousin actually was looking to buy. Let me give them your number. So that could give you more business. And then, so now you're just, for us, and we're doing this as well, because my business, my phone just rings all day. I didn't have to, and I do a lot of events. We do a lot of touches. We do a lot of things for our clients, pop buys, get like, then you name it, we keep in touch. But what we did not do, and usually we don't call all the time, because I see them so much, all these events that I throw. So I'm gonna see you, we're gonna have an event in another 2 months and my clients come out. But so we implemented calling now. So we're calling and they're like still happy to talk to us. I just saw you, but we can still check in on them. And then our past buyers using this as an opportunity to discuss value, just to let you know, did you know you had that your property increased by this much? So just giving you some information. What I'm going to start to do is contacting you every 6 months for an annual review of your property, just so we keep you in the loop. So just stuff like that. If you start implementing things like that to keep giving them information, that's how you start to attract more business from your clients that you had in the past, because some agents have a struggle with referral business. And so if you're talking to them and you're building a relationship and you're educating them, they'll refer business to you instead of one transaction and I'm done. Like if you disappear, you'll never get another, deal from them. So you have to stay present. So I would tell you to hang in there, but you have to you're going to work now. This is not easy. Everybody wants to buy a house because the interest rates were 3%. This is, I have to educate you and make sure this is a good financial decision for you right now. And what's your plan? So if they say, hey, we're fine with the interest rates, we can afford the payment, and then they understand how refinancing works. If the interest rates go down, you refinance. So you might not want to buy at the top of your budget, maybe buy a little less than what you were going to buy because you feel more comfortable with the payment because the interest rates are higher. If you're going to keep your house and you won't, I have some people that pull out equity lines because they want to now invest. So that's something as well. So when you start talking to people, they're going to talk to you about their plans, and then you're there to guide them. So we're doing a lot of that right now, which is helping us. So in the down market, now the short sale market, if we went back to that, that was crazy. And I was still in corporate America then. So the wait time on those things were like ridiculously long back in 2006. Now I think it's a little more streamlined. It's not as long, but I hope we don't go back to that market because we still have equity.
Yeah, I just did a short, well, not just, but I did a short sale, not too long ago. And I want to say, I don't know if it was Wells, but like the only way they would communicate was through fax. And it was like 2020. I'm like, y'all, like, no, it was actually 2019. So it was before the market shot up. But I was like, y'all want these people to fail. It's not a fun transaction.
No. But I mean, we got through it. You get through it, but you don't have a choice. Like if you're in it to win it, you're going to stay, and you have some business. I would say go red on spending. Like we cut spending right now, like all of those things, and just go back to probably the basics of real estate.
Absolutely.
And And this market teaches the people that have been in it for a long time to, if you keep your activities present, then you still will have some business.
Yeah.
You might not be as busy as we all were, but we still have business for sure.
Yeah. And that is a blessing. I mean, you have just said a mouthful, girl, because at the end of the day, we are in the relationship business. Don't flub the ball with the relationships. Pick up the phone, and actually starting to have these conversations. And I'm with you. We're doing a client event on Saturday and Sunday where I do photos for my families once a year. And still, even though I know I'm going to see them, I'm calling them to remind them, like, hey, I'm going to see you. I can't wait to see little Tiffany all dressed up. I'll be there, just excited to see them. And then when I see them, I'm going to hand them a home equity report, like, hey, I want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information about what's happening. And the more you love on people, and whether this is real estate or not, and I think this is something that after I met you, when I started following you on social, I could see that, right? I could see that you love your people well. And at the end of the day, that is what matters, because in this business, it's, we're going to make money and we're going to serve them and get them in a house, but they're inviting us into parts of intimate parts of their lives. And the more we build these relationships, the more beneficial it's going to be for everybody.
Yeah, and that is true. If you're getting into this business and you don't want to be, if there's people say, I'm an introvert, I don't like talking to people, or I don't know how this will ever work, because for the long run, because my clients, they call me for stuff that's non-real estate related now, fashion or anything, or just advice, or because you become so tight with them, like you said, and we see them so much. It's like my family. So we call you like SBG family. Like once you're working with us, your family, unless you don't want to be a part of our lives after but that really rarely ever happens. And so we are so embedded into how they are, how they're doing, how's the family, seeing the kids grow up. Like that stuff is important to us. And when I see it, it's genuine. It's not like I'm doing this because it's business. Like I want something. I actually really feel it. And that's how I've always been though. So I will bet, so people will say, can you teach that? I don't know how to teach something that's always in my heart. I really love people. And I'm like, I'm a giver. My family is the same way. We grew up with everybody in the neighborhood knew who we were. And my dad always giving kids coats, or he'll find somebody's a bike at a Goodwill and give them a bike because they didn't have a bike. Like that's just how I grew up, and it shows in business. But I'm like you said, it doesn't matter if you're a realtor or not. If this is who you are as a giver, when you give, people will give back to you. I don't know if you're a restaurant owner or not, you're just a good person. People want to patronize your business, but you have to show up too. So I tell people that too.
Show up.
You don't have to be as busy as I am. I'm at a lot of stuff, but you do have to show up for those that show up for you. You can't like, oh, I'm not going to that. Oh, I'm not. Like, no, you have to show up, support others as well if you want them to support you. And I've learned that a lot of folks were slipping on that. Like they just don't like being around people, or they feel shy or something like that when it's coming to getting out and about in front of people. And you just have to rip the Band-Aid and start. The more you start, it'll start to feel easier. I tell people, get in the room.
And it'll be more natural.
Yeah, go early. Like if you are like, crowds make you anxious or whatever, get there early then, because people are coming in when you're already there. So just try those things, but you can make it in this business. It's just, it requires work. This is not what people see on HGTV. This is work.
Girl, speaking of giver, you have given us so much value today. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for our brief meeting at that conference in Chicago. Honestly, you were like my best takeaway.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I'm grateful for that. And I'm just grateful that the other real estate besties who are locked and loaded with the podcast and all the other things that we have going on, that they now can know you and follow your example. Where can they follow you on social media?
So on social media, you can find me on Instagram. I'm Sheena Sells. So it's SHEENA SELLS. On Facebook, Sheena Baker, or the Sheena Baker Group is my Facebook. LinkedIn, Sheena Baker. Pretty much if you type Sheena Baker, you'll find me anywhere. Yeah, but I'm not good on TikTok. I don't know if you are, but I'm like, I'm on TikTok, but I'm like, I'm trying to learn these other platforms. So maybe you can help me with that.
Girl, I'm not on
YouTube.
TikTok. Like Instagram is my jam. Instagram and Facebook. Like you gotta know where your skills are. So
I know.
I know where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I really thank you for letting me come on and talk to you and your besties.
No, thank you for being here, y'all. Make sure that you follow Sheena. And if you have a referral for her in the west suburbs, or I feel like your team, you cover all of the
Yeah, with our
Chicagoland.
team, yeah, anywhere, yeah.
Yeah. So hit her up. Your clients will be taken care of. And I'm just so excited that she was a part of this podcast. Thank you, girl.
Thank you very much.
Besties, wasn't that amazing? Like, I absolutely loved talking to Sheena, and I'm just so grateful that I was able to go to that conference and meet somebody that I can glean from in real life and even share her with the real estate bestie community. And as a matter of fact, as soon as we got off of that call, I was like, look, girl, you have to be a part of the real estate bestie retreat. She gonna teach something. We haven't figured it out yet, but she is definitely available, and she's going to be at the retreat with us, because I know that there's so many different things that we didn't even get a chance to touch on, and you all are going to be able to learn so much from her 17 years of experience and even how she is pivoting in this market. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you share this episode with your real life real estate bestie, and I will talk to you next week. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button, because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.